Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Aussie Formula Racing. We're back for Season 7, Round 7 here for Tier 2 at Spielberg at the Österreichring in Austria. Thank you all for tuning in. I can report it looks full wet for qualifying here, and that's just going to be the perfect way to top off our evening here at AFR. We've had some great races in Tier 1 and Tier 3, and now Tier 2 are going to wrap it up for us. 100% chance of safety car, 50% chance of virtual safety car here at this 4.3 kilometre circuit with its 3 DRS zones around its 10 corners. Had quite a bit of action in Tier 2 across the last couple of seasons. Last season, Turn 1, Combat and Hero. Combat having a terrible start off the grid. As you can see, the Renault just losing the rear, hitting and spinning the Haas into the rest of the field. Thankfully, ghosting not on last season. Not quite as bad as it could be this season. Enough to bring out the safety car there before the drivers had even all got around Turn 1. Lights with a great start there, moving from third up to first. Back at Season 5, Turn 3, we had Psycho Nut and Any Minute now going 3 wide into the corner. You can see the Mercedes there having to take to the grass to get through the corner. The Red Bull getting pushed wide, but as he rejoins, hits the rear left tyre of the McLaren and goes for a spin, forcing the Alfa Romeo to take to the grass as well to get through there unscathed. And who can forget Ponton and Jacob Meister's last lap battle for the podium. This is back in Season 5. We see the Renault and the AlphaTauri going side by side through Turn 4. Continue to do so all through this tight and twisty section through Sector 2. We've seen a few incidents there tonight. Hopefully the drivers can just remember how to do it nice and cleanly and can avoid any incidents there in our Tier 2 race. We also had last season Flyboy and Skins managing to go through the entire third sector side by side of turns 7 to 10. Ferrari and the Renault drivers side by side here. You can see there's a slip lane for the pit entry. The two managing to go side by side nicely, giving each other plenty of space. The Renault there taking too much curb there at turn 10, jumping over that yellow sausage curb, and you really don't want to do that. It will propel you to the other side of the track quite dangerously. And who can forget turn 10 safety car restart back in Season 5. Trin on cold hard tyres, being told by his race engineer of T-Mac, stay out when the rest of the grid came in for softs, and he DNF'd himself out of a race-winning contention. Alrighty, across the qualifying session, I'm joined this evening by Seb, as always. How are you this evening?
Hello. I'm excited to know why, Gus. We have rain in quali and a dry, wet, dry race.
Oh, wow. Okay, this is going to be a long one. I better get my HSP ordered now before it's too late.
Well. It's going to be very interesting. We have a bit of a mix at the moment in this quali session. We got most drivers on wet tyres, but a couple on the inters. That's Mr. Spicer and Keeper, as we can see, as we look on board with Mr. Spicer just going through at turn 3 hairpin in the final DRS straight. No DRS obviously at the moment because of the rain, but first lap's coming out the way. We'll see these drivers just go along, get used to the conditions. It looks like it's not necessarily into this condition, as you can see, struggling to get that car turned in through turn 4, through turn 5 into turn 6. We saw an incident here with Potsy and Fever earlier. This is Spicer just getting a bit out of shape under throttle. He's going to let the car of Nemo, that's his teammate in the other Alpine, get by. Nemo setting up purple sector 2, quantum effect. First time goes fastest, wingman. Slots in 3/10 behind his teammate. Across the line was Keeper, but he's about to start a lap, so we're going to look on board. So we look at Nemo, across the line, 3/10 off the two Red Bulls. Mr. Spicer on those inters, only a 19.7, so clearly those inters are not working for him.
He's 4.5 seconds off the pace there. Definitely seems like there's way too much standing water to be in conditions. On board with Keeper, who's also on the inters. And you can just see there, driving through those puddles, is just losing all grip on the rears. It's Bluey, so it's 113.7 on the full wets. So let me load Ali. I have made some changes, let me know if it's any better.
So, Bluey, he is reserving today in the seat for Bully at Ferrari. So, if it is indeed wet, we might see a very good ball of points with the Ferrari crew, guys, considering Pepsi is, well, he's showing he's the fastest at the moment, 111 points in the lead of the championship by 38 points over Andocat. But Pepsi is, he's on another level when he's in the wet, and we saw that at Canada, where he such a convincing win. Just on board with Nut now. he's had a decent season, Gus, but the last 4 rounds have not really gone his way. A retirement at 13th, and a 15th after what was a 5th and a 4th at Bahrain in Spain. So he's going to want a good result tonight.
I think the same can be said for McLaren in general, and Tier 2 had a really good start to the season, but just kind of dropped off a little bit. Hopefully they're able to turn it around. Ben's at the moment P7 qualifying, so he usually tries to save some tyres during qualifying session, but obviously he's keen to get some wet running just to get a bit of a feel for the conditions. We are expecting a rain-interrupted race, so it's going to spice things up nicely. You can see just how much standing water there is on the curbs coming around turn 10. Does not look like it's going to be fun to drive for the moment. So it goes P12, still a couple of seconds clear of Mr. Spicer, who's persisting on those intermediate tyres, I believe. Yeah, he is, so maybe he knows something we don't, but definitely seems like everyone else is on the same page.
Yeah, indeed. Talking about Bandcamp before, he's gone up to P5, he improved 5/10 on his last lap. So, as you said, the driver's just getting out and about, trying to feel where the grip is. Wingman, he crosses the line, 5/10 down in his time, but he might be going for the run now, locking up that inside front right through turn 1, careful on traction, very easy to drop it on that inside curb, on the outside curb, nevertheless. Through turn 2, not really a corner, one of the left-hand corners on the track, but FIA still counts it, so we have to call it a corner. He sets the purple first sector now, try and find whatever traction there is through turn 3, uphill, very hard to get those rears to purchase onto the ground below you. Run down to turn 4, braking under that sign, get the car in, try and take inside curb. He's missed it, but don't really necessarily mind it in the wet, but however you want to take the shortest line possible. Skins, he's set the timing boards up, he's dropped half a tenth to Bluey, the 13.64. Wingman now running through turn 7, another place he can easily drop it. Getting too eager on the throttle and worn tyres, very easy as you go through turn 8 into turn 9, the fast first right-hander in the final 2 corners. Very cautious so far, Gus, and don't mind that at the moment. As we said before, they're trying to get their feet under them, so 14.0 isn't too bad at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Quantum Effect had a little bit of a moment there behind Wing. Now we saw the yellow flag come out in sector 2. See drivers still coming to grips with the conditions. Yeah, usually drivers tend to chuck a lot of fuel in the cars during these wet qualifying sessions, so they start getting in the rhythm. Each lap getting quicker and quicker as they go, so we should start to see the times start to tumble. A few drivers in the pits, obviously just running a couple laps of fuel there, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of the more experienced drivers such as Dan Camp, some of the others will be running probably 5 or 6 laps of fuel thereabouts, just to try and get 4 or 5 running laps on the wets, coming on for a fresh set for the second half of the session.
Well, Kalios, he's jumped skins by a tenth and a bit into P1. Looks like Decelerate jumps himself into P4, but it's Kalios. I've said many times before, I know we said it last week as well, he has the pace, Gus, but he's just not able to bring it together come race time. Is there anything you think he could maybe do just to reel it in and maybe find those good points? Because he sits 18th in the championship with only 2 points scoring positions, and that's P10 and P8, so not a lot there considering how much skill he has.
Yeah, we saw in the first part of the season that he had a little bit of trouble cleanly getting past other cars. So we have seen an improvement in that regard. He did pick up a penalty point last week at France, but he seems to be at least getting that part of his driving right. So I think now that he's kind of got that sorted, I think he'll start pushing the envelope a little bit for performance. So I think that's on his front wing there in the pit entry. But yeah, I think, like you say, he's definitely got the pace, and he's got the speed during the race, and inclined to the tyres, all that kind of stuff. But it's just driving amongst other cars, and we see that as well. People newer to league racing, it's one thing to drive against AI and in open lobbies and that sort of thing, but when it comes to a competitive league where you've got lots of people practicing, you need to step up that wheel-to-wheel racing just to another level. You've got to be clean, because otherwise you've got penalties, and that raw pace that you show just counts for nothing, because you're just either getting race bans or you find the penalties will knock you out of the points. So it's a massive, massive part to league racing.
Massive part indeed. Pepsi just rounding the final corner now. He's at a purple middle sector. getting powered down. We'll cross the line faster. So you're sitting P9. But, well, Pepsi, one driver we very well know is an absolute genius in the rain. Finds himself into P1 wingman, slots himself up into P4 as well. He's on a personal best lap as well so far. He was up in his time by 200 a second through sector 1. We'll keep an eye on Pepsi for now. Dropping from tier 1 as well.
Spicer and Keeper both onto the wet tyres after setting their best times in the inters. They've decided that everyone else is right. It wasn't a big brain strap to go for the inters. Everyone on the wet side.
Well, I kind of understand them going on the inters if the race was going to be full wet the whole way through, but we kind of want to preserve that wet tyres if that were the case, but it's not. And we've been told it's dry, wet, dry. So very interested to see why those guys were on inters. Maybe they were just having a gamble, thinking that this is the time the rain was the lightest and it's only going to get heavier. Pepsi getting a bit out of shape to the final corner. He will still improve it. That's a magnificent time. 13.09, almost called it a 13.1. He's well and truly in front of the field, although Kalios has set his time about 4 minutes ago, so there may be a bit of a dry line, as I think the rain has, I wouldn't say cleared up a bit, but it has weakened, but I could be mistaken.
So T-Mac in the chat saying that Keeper did an invalid 14.1 on the inters, so I think you're right. I think there was that little sliver of a window right at the start of the session where it was technically into conditions, but that's kind of passed. But as I say that, the rain does seem to be easing up a little bit. Keeper's actually retired, turn 1. They're going to jump down to the other Ferrari of Bluey. We should be able to see the Mercedes on the left-hand side of the road there. There he is. So it looks like he's kind of had a snap on the exit curb there, and he's overcorrected into the wall, and that's him out at qualifying P19. So that's it. Unless someone gets a penalty, he'll be starting dead last.
Bluey just about up on his time, as you can see on the timing tower. I believe that was a 10. He's trying to get the track. That's such a hard corner turn 3. It's
terrible.
Very hard.
It's
it's terrible in the dry. Very hard to get the power down, especially on. I know I started on mediums in the last race, and that was terrible when they're cold, especially on the safety car restarts. If you're not on softs and the softs aren't relatively fired up, it's very hard to get the power down. It's very easy to spin, especially if you take a bit too much of the inside curve. Bluey up a 10. Winding his way through this final sector now, getting a bit of wheel spin through turn 8. Obviously if that was dry we wouldn't see that, but takes turns 9 real cautious, turn 10 just trying to get that car into the corner, sticks the rear end about. He does improve.
Yeah, 3 tenths, and it wasn't perfect lap either, so more time to climb there, but it's a Ferrari front row.
Yeah, the Ferrari's looking dangerous. Very dangerous indeed. Skins, he's up on his time at the moment. He's heading through turn 3. He's a 10.5 up, getting that power down. Well, I believe he is running medium traction control. I could be mistaken. Does help in these wet conditions. You see him missing the apex of turn 4 through turn 5. They'll cost him about 2 tenths. The car's hooked up nicely through turn 6 though, gone a bit wide. Looks like the car's understeering a fair bit. Andocat now jumps Pepsi. That's a 13.07. He's up at 300ths of a second on Pepsi, but the session's not over yet. Pepsi still is yet to come out for his final run on these wet tyres. On board with Skins though, coming around the final corners. He invalidates on the inside curb, taking too much of it, getting 4 wheels over the white lines.
That'll be the next lap invalidated as well.
Yeah, exactly. The next lap invalidated as well. So he might need to try and recharge. Well, he does have full battery, so he does have a chance of 2 more laps here. But going to need to be 2 good ones because this field is very close, Gus. If you look all the way from P1 to P16, that's 1.3 seconds.
Interestingly, Kalios, King J, Saxa, and Psycho all on the intermediate tyres on their outlaps.
Not the only one. Pepsi in the pits is selected inters as well.
Just jumping on board with Saxa, who's I think the first one to start his flying lap. Psycho behind his teammate also on the inters, so we'll just jump on board and see what the times are like. And he's down by 2.5 tenths. I'll jump on board with his teammate just to see. Yeah, 310's down again. It looks like it's not quite hit, but I wonder if it's just going to cross over in the last minute or so.
For me, it looks like the track's drying up just a tad bit and the rain's eased off, so maybe if they get these laps in at the very end, it might pay off, but it's very risky.
And a half off his best. Something on board with Kalios is currently P5. At the moment, the best position driver currently on the intermediates, and Pepsi on an outlap now on the inters as well. See Kalios' time is in the first sector. Oh, he's almost matched his time. Here we go. I think the crossover period is now. Let's stay on board for the rest of this lap with the Haas driver.
Well, our pole sitter and P3 are in the pits, have set their best time on wets, but there's a chance they may be able to get out for another run on these inters. Right on board and with Kalios through turn. Oh, it does look like it is in inters condition. Very much so. He's got the, I believe that's the Alpine ahead of him. With Nemo. Turning through turn 6, the car looks a lot better. It definitely is inters. He's 2/10 down in his time though. So maybe in patches it is inters, maybe in patches it's wets. Still don't know yet, but the car does look hooked up.
It almost looked like it was getting heavier the further into the lap he went, so I'm not sure if it's just still a bit touch and go which tyres is the best at the moment. See what time he does when he reaches the line. He's down by 3.5 tenths. Everyone else selecting inters. Andercat is going to run out of time though. Just trying to see where he might be on track. I think that's it. He's coming out of the pits with a minute 14 left, and those 3 cars in the pit lane are not going to get back around. They've missed their chance.
Yep, they have missed their chance indeed. You cannot cut the track for any reason.
Kalios up by 6 thousandths.
It looks like it's improving just a little bit, but it's not really enough to make a massive difference.
He should cross the line with just enough time to do another one as well. So if he's got the battery and the fuel, he should be good for one more after this as well. He's got a lot of traffic in front of him though, this could be problematic.
Psycho's crossed the line, he's improved, so it looks like the Inties are the tyre. Wingman's also improved as well, and he's on 3-lap old wet tyres.
Purple in the second sector for Kalios. And he's invalidated over the curb. He invalidated.
He's got a chance though.
24 seconds, he's got plenty of time, but he needs to give himself some space. He needs to back off a little bit here. He's got too much traffic.
Oh no. Yeah, you're right. Oh, he's going to invalidate there as well.
Surely he's invalidated the next lap.
He has.
He's done.
So he was looking good and he's kind of thrown it away. Andercat and Bluey, we won't mind about them as we've seen. They did not get out in time. Their questions are over. Mr. Spice is around through turn 1. He had the same incident as Keeper as we right on board with Pepsi though. He's down in his time. Did not have a good turn 1. Carried it through turn 2 into turn 3 and he's turn 4.
Well, see how he goes to sector 2 if he improves.
See him, he looks so smooth in the wet. Look at that.
Purple
sector 2. But he's still got time to gain. He needs 300.
He's lost the car, dropped it. And he's in the wall. And that's it.
Eyes go to Wingman. He's about to cross the line. He does improve. No, he doesn't. Doesn't improve enough. Kalios, unfortunately, has that invalidated time. Skins also invalidated Quantum Effect. One of the few drivers left to cross the line. We have Bandcamp and Combat, I believe, as well. Quantum Effect going to the final corner. Bandcamp crossing line.
But he had one of the Ferraris, I think it was Apollo Pepsi at the final corner. I don't know what he was doing, but he rejoined the track in front of Band at the final corner. So I don't think he's going to be too happy about that. The Band into the top 10.
Yep, Quantum Effect jumps up into P6. He jumps Band, who got himself into P9. Combat is the last to cross the line. He can't improve. He invalidated his lap time. So Andocat is our pole sitter after Pepsi. The Rainmaster in Tier 2, unable to keep the car straight, unable to find time. Accelerator surprised P3, so those wet tyres kind of did hold up in the end. If you see the look at the top 7, and none of them are on inters, so...
Yeah, it was really interesting that right at the end of that session, it was right on the crossover point. You could see that the wet runners are still improving because the track had rubbed in a little bit. The inters, it just looks so tricky there. The inters, I think, were the tyre to be on, but see the caliber of the guys making those mistakes, how treacherous it must have been on those inter tyres.
It must have definitely been, as we were saying, along in those final dying stages of qualifying, past that crossover point where inters are just faster, but a bit more treacherous. As we saw before, Anocat gets pole. Pepsi very close behind us. You see how close that top three is, separated by less than half a tenth. There's Decelerate in the Alfa Romeo in P3. And we have Bluey in the other Ferrari reserving. He's got P4, followed by the two Red Bulls of Wingman and Quantum Effect in P5 and 6. The top seven separated by less than half a second. Kalios is that last man in that top seven. Psycho in P8, Skins P9, Bandcamp P10. Psycho and Band, the two top 10 runners that qualified on those inters. The rest of our grid is Nemo, King J, Saxa, Mr. Spicer, Combarat, Vasa, Mika, Nut, and Keeper. Now, we have dry, wet, dry apparently. So, we've seen some exciting racing so far, but this could get even crazier, Gus, couldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Expecting it to be wet in the middle. Not sure when the rain's expected to come, but it's not meant to last, so this could be a real spicy one. Is it going to be wet enough for them to come in for inters, or are they going to push through with the soft tyres and try and just keep it on the track? But I'm looking forward to it, Seb. I think it's going to be a ripper.
It's going to be an absolute ripper, I'm sure of it. There's no way it's not. This is Austria. You get the DRS trains, and then you get a bit of wet. There's even, 100% chance of safety car around here. In the 4 seasons we've had, Season 3, Season 4, Season 5, Season 6 of Tier 2, we've had a safety car in each race with 2 in Season 5, and a VSC in Season 3 and Season 4. So safety cars very much in play. We've seen that in Tier 3 and Tier 1 earlier on in the evening. But we'll see how those safety cars come out, when they come out, and if they affect whether these drivers will make changes onto wet tyres or dry tyres.
Absolutely. We'll find out shortly what everyone decides to do with the strategy, and that might just give us a hint as to when the rain's expected. And here we go. Everyone should have confirmed their strategy and tyres. Oh, it's already started to rain. Let's see a few drops on the screen.
Have a look. We see some mediums, but that is the way to go. I think medium soft.
But I could have sworn in that off-board shot there was a little bit of rain there on the F1 signage, but maybe I've just been watching too much Sky Sports F1.
Well, I mean, I sometimes get myself confused with when I see rain or not. It doesn't look like there's rain though, so it's. Well, I was about to say clear skies, but we can very much tell it's covered in grey.
We've got soft runners in Pepsi, Decelerate, and Bluey, as well as Combat Rat, Vasa, and Mika. A lot of medium runners though, so they might be just expecting the rain to come after the pit window for the soft runners. And Seb, I believe it's around lap 13, 14 when you pit from the softs.
Yeah, well, soft can go a long time, but it's very important to get that undercut because mediums can last just as long. I believe you can take the soft around 20 laps before they get to that 75% puncture range. And well, mediums can go fair while. But it's important you keep them up to temperature, especially in these conditions, because of how cloudy it is. Track temp will be about 2 to 3 degrees lower, so it's a bit hard to keep those temps up as the AI takes over for Andocat, and the rest of these drivers as we get ourselves ready. But what I am surprised is, Gus, that the teammates in Ferrari and Red Bull have not split their strategy, so that means both of them think that maybe that rain is coming around lap 13, maybe even around 16-ish from the start.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, splitting the strategy is very useful when it's dry, but when it's these changeable conditions, unless you don't know when the rain's coming, it's a bit of a gamble if you decide to split the strategy. If it's coming at a set time, you don't want to be caught out by that at all. All right, drivers are all in position. Seb, please do the honours.
Well, formation lap over. See the red lights, or no, I'm not seeing any red lights go on, but certainly would be. We have to wait for the drivers to jump off. Well, here we go. Take their time. 3, 4, 5 red lights in the dark skies in Austria. Lights are out and it's time for racing. Looks like Decelerate got a pretty good start. Andocat looks like he's bogged down. Pepsi down the inside of Andocat into turn 1. Bluey's jumping around the place. He's nearly taken Andocat, and I think he has. Andocat just about kept the car on track. We see a Haas to the left-hand side. He's pulled over. Bit of chaos though to start the race.
Yeah, absolutely. So we caught that really well. We saw Andocat try around the outside, but he just got a little bit of a touch. And unfortunately, he's dropped way back down the field. We've got a yellow flag at sector 2. The driver's trying to negotiate through turn 3. The handicap there losing 10 positions off the start. Accelerate down 2 as well. And not a great start there for the Aston Martin driver. Hopefully he'll be able to gain those places back. Just going to jump up the field a little bit. Accelerate currently doing quite well up into P5. As we now have Ferrari 1-2, both on the soft tyre though, so this is going to hurt them a little bit when it does decide to rain. We see there the Aston Martin getting caught in a sandwich there between the Williams and the, I can't even see the other car, there's the other Aston Martin. Oh, the handicap dropping to 14th, now 15th. Terrible opening lap there for the Aston Martin driver. He's trying to go down the inside. Oh, the teammates are side by side. Oh, and he's all the way down to 18th now. It's absolutely shocking start for Aston Martin. You see Combat Rat peeling off into the pits. Looks like he may have some wing damage. Well, we've got an incident at turn 1. I think that was one of the Alfa Romeos. Yeah, the Accelerate's gone around as well. And Alfa Romeo having a shocking start as well. 17th and 18th.
Nightmare start for the Aston Martins. They're down in P15 and P16. Nightmare start for the Alfa Romeos, P17, P18. The dream start for the Ferraris. They are about a second in front of the rest of the field. Kalios has found himself into P3 after all that chaos in Decelerate and Undercut dropping down the field, but he's got to do a job to maintain into that DRS range. It looks like he's popping in and out of it at the moment. He's got some work cut out for him, but those Ferraris on a charge right now. They've got some good clean air in front of them. They could make this work. As we look down the field, Quantum Effect follows Kalios. That's the top 4. Psycho 1.1 off the top 4 with Bandcamp following him. Then there's Skins and Saxa just getting past Keeper. Decelerate picking up the 3-second time penalty. That's very early on in this race. Wingman rounds off our top 10. We start to see those fastest lap times come down after the second lap. Bluey being within DRS range of his teammate Keeper. Trying to break the toe of Wingman by the looks of it. You see Nemo. He follows King J very closely. That's the battle for P12. And a cat right in that mix. Mika right behind Vasa. Decelerate. Trying to stay there. Mr. Spicer in P18 and Combat Rat Lonesome in P19. Petsy's been overtaken by Bluey though. They're going to go at each other. They better be careful about this because they could lose time to Kalios. Hopefully they're just trying to pull each other along. Petsy down the inside. Retakes P1. Quantum Effect behind them. He's having a look at Kalios, so nothing will suffice. Bluey's sticking very close to his teammate there, and this could go on for some time yet.
Meanwhile, for the back of the field, but Endercat trying to make it back up the grid. King J going side by side into turn 4. Endercat gets the job done. Looks like he's been able to get through the opening couple of laps with no wing damage. But he's got a lot of work to do to get back up into that pole position.
A lot of work indeed. Endercat drops 12 positions, Decelerate down 14. The biggest gainer is Keeper, the king of the starts, really. Some absolutely magnificent starts, gets himself out of trouble and finds himself up massive positions. He's in the points right now, he's in P9. He's getting overtaken by Wingman though, into turn 1. Not much to do with finding that.
Oh, but Wingman's lost it. He's lost it on the exit curve of turn 1. He's spun, he's kept it out of the wall though, so he should be able to keep going without any dramas. I don't know why he's hesitating so much.
I think he's just worried about the rejoin.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to him for keeping an eye on the safety, but he had so much time then.
Yeah, so much time indeed. Just got that move done. Was looking very promising for him and drops it on that inside curbs. Meanwhile, Saxa has overtaken Skins for P7. I think Bandcamp does as well. Bandcamp is all over the back of Psycho though.
Right, no love lost between the two admins.
Two admins indeed. One is in. Yeah, one is team admin, one is, well...
Oh, Keeper's gone round, Keeper's gone round.
Oh, they're going to be careful.
He's in the middle of the track, he's going to reach... Oh, he gets out of the way just before the next group of cars, so well done to Keeper staying out of trouble, but unfortunately a big spin there for the Mercedes. Okay, we've got another car off at the final corner, we've got yellow flags in sector 3.
Well,
it's cleared.
The sun may not be out, but we're seeing a lot of yellow at the moment. Kalios has dropped way off the back of the top 3 and he's getting overtaken by Psycho. He might have made a mistake somewhere, but my oh my, he will get DRS on the run down to turn 4. Band having a look, he's defending from Saxa, just holding it. Saxa getting pushed a bit. Anocat down the field, so I don't have to worry about him, but Kalios got a run on Psycho. Saxa got the run on Band. Kalios looking down the inside of Psycho, and I see some rain, Gus.
Yeah, I see some rain as well. It's definitely raining now, so it's a few people pitting already and they're going to be caught out. Almost time for the inters, but we'll see a couple more laps before we see any pit stops, but definitely starting to rain now.
Kalios looks like he's really struggling. Doesn't look like he can keep up with Psycho. Psycho has said goodbye. Also said goodbye to the two Ferraris. They just keep on exchanging positions, dragging each other along with that DRS. Bandcamp getting really close to Kalios up ahead. Kalios must be struggling so much.
Big snap
so much.
Big snap of oversteer from Saxa as well there between turns 9 and 10. As you see Bandcamp going for the move on the pit straight. So even before the braking zone, the DRS is so powerful when you get a better exit than the car in front. And Bandcamp moves up to P5 and he's almost in DRS range of Psycho as well. So he may be able to get it across the top of the hill.
Of the 5 races Bandcamp has done, he's finished or scored points for them. As Saxa sends it down the inside of Kalios. Nothing Kalios can do. He's having a shocking run of him in the past couple of laps. Saxa gets through down the inside. He'll take P6. But Bandcamp, the man who sits 5th in the championship, has a 4th, 5th, 4th and 6th to his name. He's been on fire recently and is about to add to that points tally, I think so.
Absolutely. Dream start there for the McLaren driver. Not doing too bad either. Down in P9, still in the points. So good start from McLaren so far, but nowhere near as good as Ferrari or the AlphaTauri guys. Doing very well at the moment.
Well, tell you what, who's found some form. These two Aston Martins up to P8 and P11 from, well, what was P17 and 18 at one point, and P15 and 16 now. Where they are, they're looking like they could be back in this.
And as well, with the rain coming and starting to fall, will favour the brave. Whoever chucks on those intermediate tyres at the right time, if you chuck them before everyone else or just after everyone else, you could make the decision that gains you a handful of places as well. So this is going to be very, very exciting to see Andercat making a move on Kalios as well. Kalios is going absolutely backwards at the moment. He's really struggling on those medium tyres in the wet. Nut as well making a move on Nemo, as we can see the rain starting to get heavier and heavier. Won't be too much longer. Now as Bandcamp made a move on Psycho. He was miles behind at the start of the lap and he's got it done. So great work from Bandcamp up to P4, but he's got a bit of work to do to catch up to the podium positions.
The two McLarens getting their fighting gloves on. Really putting a bit of a show right now, but DRS is so important around here. It's going to be important when deciding when to pit. The rain, I can see some puddles on the track right now. Oh, not puddles, but the rain drops. Unless the rain is getting heavier. It's slowly been getting heavier.
Flag, Nemo's gone off. He's gone in the gravel at turn 8. He's trying to rejoin safely. He's able to do so.
By Bandcamp and Psycho battling, Saxa has gotten within this DRS range.
We see a Red Bull coming into the pits. It's Wingman. Is he going to be chucking on the inters?
Well, good chance he may be. Up ahead, Psycho, Band going side by side to turn 3, giving each other a lot of space, but looks like Psycho going to have to yield for now.
There we go. Wingman on the inters. And Nemo looks like he's going to chuck a set on as well. We've got another spinner. Skin's gone around at turn 1. It's like the Williams driver struggling for traction.
I see some puddles, Gus.
Yeah, it's definitely
slight
close.
Puddles.
Yeah, Wingman and Nemo both on the inters now. Let's see his camera line out. It's got a big smudge of water over it.
Lap 8 of 36. And if you're just joining us,
Band
Ferraris
staying out, the quantum effect's in.
Quantum effect is in, Band staying out, so a lot of drivers calling it. Psycho as well. Will Saxa come in? No. Saxa stays out. It looks like the track might be for inters condition, but I'm not sure if the rain's eased up or not. It might have. It's gotten a little bit softer graphically.
Oh, Decelerate's had a big spin. He's blocked a pit lane and Mr. Spice has crashed into him. Decelerate had completely blocked the pit entry and Mr. Spice is coming into the pits. Oh, as Decelerate's been disqualified. He got stuck, I think. Bit of wheel spin there on the grass. We've got a full safety car. Oh, this is going to make the decision for Inters very tricky because it's not quite there yet. We are seeing a bit of spray off the tyres now.
Very interesting indeed. Unfortunately, Decelerate, he qualified P3. It hasn't gone his way. Had issues early on in the race.
Got a Haas in the wall as well of King J at turn 3. Looks like he's spun. We were saying how much of a difficult corner it was in the dry. Now that it's in the greasy, slippery intermediate conditions, King J on the medium tyres lost it on the exit and he's broken his front wing. It's gone completely, so he's going to have to
Everyone's pitting, Gus.
Everyone is pitting. I'm going to jump on board with Quantum Effect. He was the first one to jump on the inters. And let's see, well, the two Ferrari guys should be able to get through without too much drama. I think Bluey's backing up a little bit, but he's got about 6 seconds behind him to Bandcamp, so he shouldn't have to double stack or get a penalty for holding him up.
I think he'll still lose a bit of time, but I don't think it'll be as big as maybe like 5 seconds. It might be about 2 seconds, so he should be clear to Bandcamp behind. He's just coming in the pits now. Saxa, Andercat as well. Mika will have to double stack behind his Aston Martin teammate.
A lot of cars coming in behind him. He's got green. He's got a nice gap behind the AlphaTauri before the Aston Martins. The two Ferraris do come out fine, but here comes Quantum Effect on the pit straight now. He's going to get past Bandcamp. He won't get past the two Ferraris though. So Quantum able to gain a little bit there by pitting that a little bit early. And he moves up into P3. Bandcamp's still in P4, and the two Ferraris well out front as the safety car finds them turn 3.
Track well and truly. That enters condition. Skins a drive-through penalty. That is
speedy on the safety car. It's just those. I think he has made a mistake. He's got the medium tyres on the car, and they're 0 laps old. So I think he. It is.
Oh, another one.
This is just going from bad to worse. I think.
Yeah, that's painful to watch.
Yeah, that's not shame.
Well, two Ferraris have been brilliant. They're P1 and 2, but spotlight on Quantum Effect, our race winner last time around. If you were tuning in, you would have thought Pepsi was the winner. No, Pepsi got a time penalty for that contact with Quantum in turn, I believe, 8 and 9 in France. And that saw him drop down the field. Quantum Effect takes that P1 position, and he's in a prime position to maybe upset these two Ferraris who have, as I said before, been absolutely brilliant. They've flew away from the rest of the field, 1 and 2 respectively. They were using each other to drag each other along with the DRS. And teamwork could very much help them out here. Although Bluey is a reserve, doesn't mean he can't help out. Doesn't mean he can't have a bit of chemistry with Pepsi.
I like Mentos and Pepsi, or that Mentos and Pepsi.
Just get your HSP already, man.
It's on order. It's coming at 10. Just having a look. Apparently, Bluey cannot see Quantum Effect, so we've got a bit of desync in the lobby. So hopefully that's not going to cause too many issues with Bluey if he attempts to defend from the Red Bull.
We do have a battle for P4, don't we? Because draw your attention back a couple of laps ago. Bandcamp, Saxa, and Psycho were all teething it out at each other for that P4 position. Bandcamp did come out on top, but unless Psycho was within DRS range, and Saxa was right there with him. So Endocat also comes to that mix. Kalios as well, who did lose a lot of pace in those dry conditions. So maybe Kalios's gear is set up very much to the wet. That's why you may have seen him drop. Keeper in P9, so I believe he did have a spin earlier. Is that correct?
He did. Turn 7, turn 8. He had a bit of a spin.
Yeah, Nuts in P10, so he's had a good start as well. And Mika in P11 as well. Wingman, another driver to watch, he's in P13. He's a race winner so far this season. He's had some dominating drives, although one of them didn't necessarily pay off because he did DNF, but he does have the pace to find his way up the field and create a bit of action for us in case things get a bit, trainy, I should say that, yeah.
Absolutely, and because these are very tricky conditions, you expect drivers to make a few more mistakes. You might start to see some penalties applied to the drivers, and if you just keep it clean, you never know where you can end up. We saw Mate have a very good race in Tier 1 a bit earlier, and effectively finished on the podium. He did get a penalty for being hit on the safety car, but I really expect that to be overturned by the stewards after the race. So it does show that you just have to keep your nose out of trouble, keep your wheels in the track limits, and it will pay dividends. So hopefully for Wingman, the race will come towards him. We have seen him do some great drives before, as you mentioned, so hopefully he's able to bounce back after a disappointing France last weekend.
Well, I believe safety cars should be in this lap, even though Skins is well down the field.
Yeah, he's got a couple of drive-throughs as well to serve after the safety car comes in, so he will be well and truly out of contention, which is a real shame. He does have good pace, but we've mentioned a couple of times, just picks up those really unfortunate and unlucky penalties, and they tend to set him back quite a bit. As we do see, the safety car is in this lap, so jump up on board with Apollo Pepsi as he backs up the field and lets the safety car get away.
Well, all eyes on the two Ferraris. They'll be in a voice call together. They'll be talking to each other. We've got to wait for that red Mercedes safety car come in though. It's all about keeping those temperatures up, making sure everything's stable, communicating properly to get the jump on that Red Bull of corner effect. Safety car just coming into that pit entry lane now.
Just holding at
Should be able to get
130 k's, roughly where Pepsi's sitting. Turn
should
9.
go soon.
He's gone. And he's
gone,
jumped his teammate.
Look how much he has jumped him, Gus. That's a massive
Blue
gap.
mapping there.
So boys might miss out a bit of the slipstream here, but that might not be too much of an issue with the dirty air. It doesn't really gain you too much time, but it does help having a teammate nearby. We are now under green flag racing for lap 13. Field seems pretty much similar. Wingman already making a move on Mr. Spicer down into turn 1. He's got that done. Anocat and Kalios going side by side on the run down to turn 2 and turn 3. Dan Psycho right in front of them. Kalios pulls out down the inside of Psycho. Battle it out. Kalios getting on that inside curve. They touch wheels. Anocat's rubbing with them as well. They hold traction. They hold it side by side. Kalios just pulls away from him with supreme traction, and Anocat's going to try and get a run now into turn 4. He's going to outbrake him just about, locking the front. Psycho gives him barely any room. That's some great defensive driving from that Alpha Tauri driver.
Yeah, pushed him right up into the curb, and he can take that in the dry, but in the wet it's very treacherous. That water just sits on top of the panes. We've seen Wingman making a move on Mika as well. They're side by side. So come around into turn 7, get it sorted out. Fairly clean restart we've seen so far.
Couple of position changes here and there. Keeper, Anocat all over the back of Saxa. Keeper's just pushing Andrew through the corner. I think he might have actually pushed him. This might have opened up the door for Keeper to make a move. He's using the ARS. He's bump drafting him, kind of. This isn't NASCAR. He's looking down the inside and turn 1. He's out braking him. This is brave in the wet. He's pushed him off. Looks like Keeper will get P8, but I'm not sure how clean that was. That was very much elbows out racing. Anocat dropping a position. So he's going to have to try and regather himself, compose himself, and find a way to get those positions back. It's hard to overtake in the wet, but Keeper, not necessarily the most fairest move we've ever seen, Gus.
Yeah, I would have thought he'd be giving that place back. He only made the move by pushing the Martin really off the track. Like so far, the Mercedes was off the track as well. So I don't see how that was a fair pass at all. And there's also questions around the final corner as well, whether or not it was a bump and go pass. But sure, if Ando has any issues with that move, he'll raise it to the stewards post-race.
Ando, a very chill guy. Don't want to see him get too upset, but a move like that, when you're in a position like that, after being in what was P1, is certainly got to tilt you a little bit. See, up behind him, Wingman, very close tonight. He's in full view of Anocat and Keeper. Wingman sitting on that 100% ERS, same as not. Very hard to lose ERS in the wet, but doesn't get a good enough traction out of the last corner, that's turn 10, to make any moves on that, or at least look at some. He's had a good run through turn 1, but once again, not enough traction to get a good run and have a look. Ooh, up ahead, Keeper just misses hitting Psycho from behind, but Anocat nearly loses it under traction. There's Nut right behind him. Anocat really not having a good time of it. The two Ferraris ahead have pulled away from quantum effect by 1.6, 1.7 seconds, and Bandcamp's kind of off that as well. Saxa follows. Kalios is kind of caught up to them, although hasn't really shown pure pace just about yet, but this battle for P7 really heating up. Wingman now pushing Nut through turn 8 on the run down to turn 9. He's having a look around the outside. And Tommy's going to go for it, and he's not. He's going to back out smartly. Nearly tried the switch back on him. Nothing going of it. So we'll have to wait once again. See a big train from Nut all the way down to Vassar in P17. Nut's gone a bit deep though. This will open the door for Wingman. Wingman will see through down the inside. Nut has nothing to answer with it. Going deep has cost him his run. Trying to use the ARS to stay within that fight, stay within that point scoring position, but I don't think there's anything. Trying to look down the inside, but Wingman will cover that off. Nut also getting swamped by Mika at the same time. Mika looking around the outside, doesn't have the traction, but superior under the right foot. But Mika slots under the slipstream of Nut, using the RS, looking around the outside, braking on the curb. Don't normally see that in the wet. He's going to try and hold it around the outside. Nut with the inside line, Mr. Spicer right behind these two. Nut squeezing Mika to the left. He'll pull over to the right to open up that line for turn 6. But Mika will take P11 with some solid racing between the two.
Yeah, great pass from the Aston Martin driver, moving up into... yes, that's right, Aston Martin moving up into 11th, but it dropped off the back of Wingman, who's in P10 now. 1.7 seconds. You can see on the track map, we've got a few distinct groups now of cars. Corks in the bottle, Psycho dropping off the back of Kalios by 3.5 seconds. Keeper and Undercut company now, but Wingman chasing him down pretty quickly as well. You see Mr. Spicer and his teammate Nemo swapping positions as well. Very well orchestrated there. Mr. Spicer letting Nemo through. Obviously he thinks that he's fast driver. Oh, he's nearly lost it. He has lost it. And he's got around. And what a move by Vassar to avoid that collision. That was very, very good reactions there from the Alfa Romeo driver. And how he did not T-bone the Williams there as it spun. Sorry, the Alpine as it spun. I can never tell these cars apart anymore. Great work there. Meanwhile, Nut has lost the place to Nemo. Yeah, Mr. Spicer doing the team thing there, and big spin at turn 1, couldn't quite catch the car. He had excessive wheel spin. Unfortunately, he's all the way down to 17.
All the way down in 17th. Vassar did, as you said, an amazing job to avoid collision with Mr. Spicer, but the moment I said Kalios was not really showing true pace, well, he's shown it now. He was just about a second to Saxa, about a lap to go. He was under that. He's definitely under that now. He's within 8/10. Bandcamp sitting in P4. Might have to worry about Kalios in a bit, but Kalios does have to get through Saxa. Andocat still very close to keeper, isn't he, Gus? He's unable to get a move. He's having a look into turn 1. I don't think he will. He's just trying to get out the slipstream, make sure he doesn't break into him. But Andocat picks up that time penalty. That dreaded time penalty in Austria. Very easy to get, a bit harder to get in the wet, but he still gets it. He's trying to use that ERS. He'll have to go up to 11, try and find that time back. Those 3 seconds are so important, but just get the feeling that with Wingman right behind him, he's not really getting a move on keeper. This might end up being very detrimental to him down the line.
Yeah, report as well, keeper can't see Ando, so again, a bit of desync since the latest update of the F1 game. Causing a few issues. Hopefully Ando, he does try and go for a move. Get caught out by that issue with the lobby.
Well, it seems every lobby with a formation lap has desync in it. Some way or form. Could be very wrong about that, but Wingman picks up a 3-second time penalty through turn 8, an unlikely corner, but nonetheless he's picked it up. So, just like Andocat, he'll need to find a way to find that time back and hope there's not a late safety car. Otherwise, he'll definitely be out of point scoring position. Mika is 2.1 seconds behind him. Slightly fresher inters, but it's not that much of a difference when it comes to tyre wear, because mainly on the safety car division. Andocat, keeper, Psycho, still in that P7 battle. We've seen for the past 5 or so laps, and nothing really able to get a move on, but yeah.
Just on board with Apollo Pepsi out in front, and it looks like it stopped raining.
Yeah, that's what it looks like for me as well.
So Apollo Pepsi leads from his teammate Bluey by about a second, and then 3.8 seconds behind is Quantum Effect. Bandcamp hanging on just behind the Red Bull, but Saxa and Kalios just behind as well. Psycho though, all the way back in P7, he's holding on. A little bit of a train here forming with Keeper, Andocat and Wingman just behind.
Easy to hold.
Mika and Nemo, sorry, just a little bit behind them as well, but outside DRS range for when it does go dry conditions.
Yep, well, not so easy to overtake in the wet, very easy to defend your position. That's obviously due to the help of no DRS and the fact that you're solely relying on exits and straight line speed to get by your opposing drivers. And that's why we're seeing a couple of trains here, no real overtakes. So we did say before that Keeper and Andocat are desynced to each other. Or at least Keeper has no bearings of where Andocat is on the track, so it's unfortunate for Ando. He'll be the struggle to get by Keeper, but if we draw attention to the two Ferraris. They are well and truly within DRS range of each other, and that could heat up as time goes on. Keeper's got to move though. Sorry guys, Keeper's got to move down the inside of Psycho into turn 4. He had the run out of turn 3, and looks like he'll get this done. Good enough traction. Psycho doesn't have anything to fight out. Andocat could come into play now. This is the move that Andocat needs to get done, but I don't think he will. It's up the spot on the track to get it done. And we saw that earlier on, as I said earlier on in this broadcast. Potty and Feber had an incident there that sent Feber tumbling down the order at the end of the race, and we've read a quantum effect has caught it into the pits.
Keep an eye on the tyre choice for now. 15 laps remaining. Should be able to get to the ends on softs, I would have thought.
I think it's a bit early though. I can still see a lot of spray off the back.
There is a lot of spray. It is a bit early. I think if you were outside the points, it's worth the gamble, but he was in P3 and he came to the pits. I think it was way too early, but here he goes onto the softs. I'll get to the end.
A massive, massive gamble that might not pay off. Andocat nearly spun Psycho around. He'll get that position. Wingman, well and truly in this fight as well. Don't tell me going to go 3 wide in the wet conditions into turn 3. Wingman having a look down the inside. Psycho around the outside of Andocat. They nearly touched the Alpha Carrier and Rebel driver. It looks like Psycho will hold on to P8. He's getting a bit out of shape though. Wingman just about avoids him. He's gone to the outside on the run down to turn 4. Psycho dropping some more positions. Will he have a look down into turn 4? No. Wingman takes P8, Psycho drops some more positions, Mika's in play now for P9 as well.
Mr. Spicer in the pits, chucks on a set of medium tyres, so let's keep an eye on the gap between Vassar and Quantum, as well as skins of Mr. Spicer, just to see what happens with that delta. It does look like Quantum is losing time to Vassar, so it's not quite time yet, and it means he has potentially thrown away a podium here, Seb.
High risk, high reward, and the risk has certainly bitten him. He hates it most. He's found himself in P16. As you said, he's not gaining time, he's losing time, and that gamble has not really paid off. Louis has dropped off the back of his teammate Apollo Pepsi. That's Nemo.
Yeah, Nemo. And the Alpine lost it at the final corner. I can't see any wing damage on him, but yeah, he lost it on the exit curve, spun to the inside of the track. Thankfully it didn't hit anyone else. But he's all the way down to 16th now. Jumping a bit further up the grid, Saxa has lost his entire front wing. We've got a virtual safety car. I did not see what happened there, but Kalios is ahead of him. Saxa has no front wing. I wonder if he's lost the rear of the car at turn 3 again and broken his front wing on that inside wall. As he'll have to come into the pits, he'll have no choice. He'll have to chuck on a set of softs, I think, as he'll just suffer way too much. He's struggling to make the corner there at turn 5.
That's treacherous even under VSC conditions where you have to slow down anyway. But yeah, we know it's not really locked to a certain speed.
Ferraris are staying out. No, Pepsi stays out, but Bluey, the number 2 Ferrari, has got pit priority. He's coming in for a set of softs. Bandcamp staying out.
I think staying out might be the right move, considering there's still a fair bit of spray at the moment, but we'll have to wait and see about that. Kalios and Saxa also in the pit. Saxa to be expected, but Kalios taking a risk.
King J with a drive-through penalty, speeding under the virtual safety car. Bandcamp staying out. Now on P2, 7.5 seconds behind Apollo Pepsi. And let's just keep an eye on these gaps to see if the soft runners are going to be gaining time on the inters. We saw before that virtual safety car Band's a double lock-up going into turn 3. Just that they weren't quite there. We've got a spinner in sector 2. It looks like Spicer there, having a spin on the medium tyre. I think the medium was the wrong choice for sure.
Yeah, as you said, you definitely can take those softs here in 16 laps.
Yeah, Nut has chucked on the soft
DRS
tyres.
is available.
There we go, so that's a signal from the game that it's dry.
So maybe Bandcamp and Pepsi missed the clue. Looks like Pepsi could very much lose out to Bluey here for the lead of the race. That gap's around 16 seconds. It's not really hovering. Miko, meanwhile, going through around the outside of Psycho through turn 6 to 7, and he's got what is P5 at the moment, but that will certainly change with these pit stops coming out. The track does look like it's drier than before. It does look like there's somewhat of a dry line forming, and those two are pulling into the pits. Pepsi, meanwhile, will pit along with Bandcamp onto soft tyres. Bluey's going to get them both.
He got it. I think the virtual safety car helped him there. I don't think it was quite the right time to pit, but the virtual safety car limited the pain there. And he's jumped his teammate because the track just dried up too much. There we go. Bluey now 4 seconds in the lead. Look how much quicker he was on that outlap compared to Apollo Pepsi's inlap.
Louis reserved one time in Tier 2. That was at Canada where he retired. Well, he did have pole position, I believe. Did not turn out for him. It might just turn out for him tonight. He's in P1. He's 4.1 seconds ahead of his teammate, Paulo Pepsi, the championship leader. Bandcamp follows. He's just in front of Quantum Effect. There's a Spicer in front of him, getting out of shape. There's Quantum Effect right behind. Kalios in the mix as well. They all have DRS. On the run down to turn 4, Bandcamp shadowing that inside line. Quantum Effect looking around the outside. He's driving through Bandcamp. They're desynced.
Oh, that must have been desync. Bandcamp in the wall. He's lost his front wing. Oh no. Band has wing damage. And Quantum Effect desynced is just driven straight into the McLaren. Oh, but he's spun! He's spun on his own! He nearly collects the Haas. And looks like Band might be able to come through on him, but with that wing damage, he's getting passed by Saxa as well.
I'm sorry, but that's ridiculous. The desync is pretty crazy.
Codemasters need to do something about this game. You can't race like this.
They come out with the patch. Portimao's good, but they just add so many bad things to the game. It just kind of ruins it.
What frustrates me is that they go to all these efforts to do these special builds for the official esports guys, and they do absolutely nothing for the community that's actually spending money on this game for them every single year. It's just really pathetic, to be honest.
Yeah,
they need to do something about it. They're going to start losing fans.
They're going to start losing fans, and hopefully maybe some competition in the market might help that, but we'll have to bite our tongues on that one. We've got a battle for P4 brewing. That sacks the Quantum Effect and Endocat. Endocat finds himself back into P6 after what was a very horrid start. Finds himself down the order. Saxa having a look down the inside. Quantum Effect. Not going to go for it. Thinks the wiser of it. But Endocat with that absolutely brilliant run. Juicing, using the ERS. Had to pull out of it though. With a bit on the grass. That got him a bit out of shape. Having reports again that it's raining. It doesn't look like it is on my screen, but I might be missing a few.
Oh, Saxa touches the inside curb, nearly loses the car.
Bluey! Sorry guys, Bluey has spun in the lead.
You're right, he's lost the spot to Apollo Pepsi and Kalios. Apollo Pepsi now has an 8-second lead. Bluey looks like he's lagging a fair bit as well. Just on board with him now, and it looks like he was turning at the pit wall. But yeah, Bluey has absolutely thrown it away. And Apollo Pepsi's dropped to 17th for me, so clap to Codemasters again. Apollo Pepsi is in the lead though, so he's able for the position to correct himself. He's going to hide that leaderboard because it's absolutely meaningless.
I'll keep you updated when it fixes itself. Endocat, meanwhile, having a run on Saxa with that DRS down the inside into turn 3. Not giving the most space, but it's fair nonetheless. He got caught on that inside curb, and you cannot get the power down when you're on that inside curb. It kills traction. It's very easy to spin as well. So smart by Endocat to not risk it, try and go for that great run. Great by Saxa to know that he can squeeze Ando onto it and get away with it. But that battle for P5 will go on as we have around 11 laps to go. 10 and a half I should say, as Pepsi's just about to cross the line. That will be 10 laps remaining, and looks like our championship leader will extend that lead on the rest of the field. But Kalios is finally going to get some good point position, but still 10 laps to go, guys.
Absolutely, and with the question mark around whether or not there's more rain coming. Count your chickens before they hatch. It's just a pretty commanding lead that Apollo Pepsi's got now that his teammates had that little spin, but Bluey gets the move done on Kalios into turn 3. And getting a few drops of rain on the cameras, but can't see any drops on the halo, so I think rain maybe staying away a little bit.
Maybe just teetering, we may be getting just a couple here and there, but with this DRS to quality effects, Sax is being saved, I guess, from Endocat, who sits behind him, and this is very much hurting Endocat's chances of holding on to, or I say holding on to, but he'll definitely get P6 at this moment in time, because Keeper has a time penalty as well. Mika is out of that 30-second range, but it's more of Endocat getting back into some very good point scoring positions. P8, so P6 is with 8 points is alright, but considering he is in that fight in P2 into the championship, Quantum Effect just behind him, with Wingman there as well, Wingman on in a point scoring position, you'd think Endocat would want a bit more than just, 8 points, but ran on to lap 28 on this field. Verging on each other, Endocat takes a lot of inside curb, and this will give him a pretty good run on Saxa. Didn't get the run on traction, but got the run on the line. Saxa's got a great run on quantum effect though. He'll look down the inside into turn 3. He pulls ahead. Quantum effect does a smart thing. He's going to get DRS from this, and if he gets good enough traction, he might be able to retake the position into turn 4. On the run now, out of traction, DRS open for quantum effect. He's looking, he's not using any DRS. He's below 10%. He will be blinking. He's having a look around the outside. Saxa defends the inside. Quantum effect has nothing to fight back to Saxa with. Looks like he would fall down the field a bit more.
Nice little battle here for P4. Looks like the podium positions are relatively settled now. Looks like Bluey's pulling away from Kalios, but Kalios managing the gap to Saxa behind.
See them. Climbing board does its thing again. But I think the third one's the quantum effect got a good run on Saxa this time around. He's using a bit of that ERS. Doesn't have a lot, so I'm surprised he is using it instead of saving it. But nevertheless, he will take P3 back from Saxa on the run down to turn 2 and 3. Swoop through Androcat, getting very, very close to the back of that AlphaTauri, and he's going to get a good run here. He's got the ERS on him. He's tight to that rear wing, but he just can't get close to him. Saxa has enough straight line speed, enough ERS to see him off. But Androcat going for a send round the outside of turn 4. If he pulls this off, this will be absolutely amazing. Saxa holding it down the inside through turn 5. Androcat will think the better of it and back off. Some great racing between the two.
Yeah, Saxa thought that he'd shut the door there on the outside, forcing the Aston Martin right up onto the curb. And Androcat, I think Cojones tries to keep it around the outside, but unfortunately just didn't quite have the speed to hang on to the position. But I don't think this battle's quite over yet. 6 laps to go.
It would have been one hell of a move, but he's fighting, he's bringing Keeper into play, and we know Keeper can be a fair bit aggressive, so got 7 more laps to come for these drivers. Yellow flags in sector 2, I believe that's Mrs. Spicer. It is. Saxa having a look down the inside, Androcat having a look around the outside into turn 3. I'll try once again for a move on Saxa, this time into turn 4, doesn't get the ideal run as he bumped into the back of him on the exit. He's using a bit of that ERS, but this time around he'll have to wait once again. Oh, it's actually a bit wide. This might open the door for Androcat. No, it doesn't. Saxa just able to get good enough traction, and Androcat not able to get that opening.
Have a look behind as well. Keeper's within DRS range of Androcat now, so this little squabble has brought them into play, and Mika, the other Aston Martin, closing the gap as well. It's 2.5 seconds behind.
Well, the hope for Androcat right now is that he can overtake Saxa. He can try and build a bit of a gap, but I don't think that's very likely with how strong DRS is around here. You can see it, Saxa, with the help of quantum effect, the head is just staying in front of Androcat. I think Androcat does have the pace, but like you said, DRS is so strong. You can't overtake. Androcat absolutely flies through turn 1. That was brilliant from the Aston Martin driver. But yeah, I don't think this is going to work out too well for him.
Well, Psycho gets a move done on Mika, up into P8.
Meanwhile, another exchange between an AlphaTauri and Aston Martin might suffice into turn 4 once again. Androcat trying to get the switch back on him, but Saxa just blocks it off brilliantly. That's some masterful defending. We've seen that so far from Saxa in the first 30 laps, and he's done it once again in the 31st.
Yeah, there's some great defending from Quantum Effect and Saxa here. Androcat trying absolutely everything to get past. Just doesn't quite have enough. He's got a penalty as well, as we see. I think it's Mr. Spicer again in the final corner. A little bit of spin. It's went the wrong way. A bit straight. And the LP.
That wing was on the middle of the track. I'm slightly worried that Androcat just ran over that with his right front tyre. I don't think he will have a puncture. It can happen. We've seen it happen before. We saw it happen with T-Mac in Baku after a crash, saw him some damage in his rear tyre, and that caused a bit of a muck. Saxa having a look down the inside of quantum effect into turn 3, thinks the wiser of it, doesn't want to risk not getting DRS for this run down to turn 4, doesn't get a good enough exit to make a run of it. This time Androcat having a look, Saxa's verging on quantum effect, Androcat looking around the outside of Saxa, he locks up the rear tyres, he's not able to hold it though. I think somewhere along the line Keeper's had a mistake and he's dropped off well off the back of these three running for 4th, 5th and 6th. We have another yellow flag for Sector 1. I believe that's Mr. Spicer on the inside who's DNF.
Yeah, not sure if that was a deliberate retirement or if he's made a mistake, but he was pointing the wrong way in the pit straight for a long time, so I'm not sure if that was that one, but play on. No safety car by the looks of it just yet.
The safety car might have spiced up this race, but it certainly would help the likes of Annika and Keeper sitting in P6 and P7, both with, I believe, 3 seconds. Yeah, that is correct. The Cats. He's trying everything, isn't he, Cats? Look how you can see how much he was cutting through turn 1. Saxer with a brilliant run on Quantum Effect onto turn 3. He won't get DRS from turn 3 to turn 4, but he will be in front just about Quantum Effect. It's a good enough run, and Cat's not good enough there, but Quantum Effect sticking there. He's got almost no ERS, Gus. Look at that, 1%. Around the outside, Saxer just outbrakes him. They'll try and go for the switchback. He's looking for that cutback. Oh, getting a bit out of shape through turn 5. They're going to converge each other, nearly touching wheels. Saxer will pull ahead into P4. A man who had been doing so much defending, so much brilliant defending, does some great offensive work and gets himself good P4 position.
Now, if I remember correctly, Andercat and Quantum Effect were desynced at the start of the race, so hopefully Ando's able to get past him cleanly if he does go for a move. It's tricky with Red Bull, maybe not knowing that he's there. Obviously a repeat of Quantum versus Bandcamp, who are able to get yellow flag in Sector 3. As you see, the Red Bull coming back at the AlphaTauri. Back there, and it's not had a great exit. This could be a chance for Andercat. No, Red Bull's got DRS now. He's used almost all of his ERS. Oh, they banged tyres. Saxer and Quantum Effect. That was very, very close. Saxer late on the brakes, trying to go for the little move. Red Bull runs out very wide. Andercat right there, side by side with Saxer. Oh, he's got to run onto the grass a little bit there. Has to back out.
Saxer's been doing some great defending. I think that was a bit too elbows out. Got a great run. He's looked up the rear end though.
Tokyo Drifter in turn 4.
Well, he might be getting a bit angsty. He has been looking at the back of that AlphaTauri for quite some time. It's been about 15 laps, I believe, Gus. You'd think he'd be getting a bit frustrated, the cool head that he is. Yeah, it can always boil over. And he does have a lot of ERS to play with. Saxer with less than 30%, Quantum Effect with less than 20. So this is the time for Ando to go for it. Saxer not going too fast through turn 9. This is the chance. Oh, he runs into the back of him though, Gus. He just can't get the run he wants.
Tapped him a little bit. I don't think there's any wing damage. I didn't see anything fly off, but he's got to be careful here. He's getting pretty desperate. He doesn't want to make a mistake like that. He ran into the back of the AlphaTauri. That may have caused a little bit of damage. Saxer apparently has some line wing damage. So that's why he's dropped off the back of Quantum Effect now. And I dare say I think Andercat might have just picked up some line wing damage as well on that front wing.
I wouldn't be surprised. He's got to worry about it as well. He might lose a position to Mika at this rate. Maybe even Psycho and Combat Rat, who are right with Mika in another 3-car DRS train. You see Quantum Effect trying to pull away from Saxer. He's not able to do it. As we mentioned once again, DRS is so strong that Andercat just can't get by. Combat Rat picks up a time penalty, but I don't think that will matter too much. No safety car can come out at this moment, and Nut is a whole 11 seconds behind him. See how close Andercat is. He's just trying to get the move done, but he can't, Gus. Oh, Saxer picks up the 3-second time penalty.
This is his chance. They're on equal steading. Andercat had that 3-second penalty. This is why he's been so desperate to get past, but now they're on equal terms. Andercat just needs to play it smart as we start this final lap of the race. And Andercat get the position. Keeper is now well within DRS range. He was a couple of seconds back just a few laps ago. Oh, and he gives... it's a little bit of contact again. Keeper all over the back of the Aston Martin.
Here they come now through turn 2 into turn 3. Andercat's got the run. He's got so much ERS as well. We'll go around the outside.
Keeper's punted him. Keeper's punted him.
For the second time this race,
he has to give that place back. He absolutely has to do that. That is a disgusting move from Keeper there. And he's still going for the move on Saxer. Unless there must be desync. There has to be desync there between Keeper and Andercat. For him not to, he's desynced according to T-Mac.
As well.
And that...
And Andercat gets a 3-second time penalty for that. That should get removed.
Anyway, here's Apollo Pepsi coming across the line to win what has been a pretty disgraceful display from Codemasters, to be honest. Bluey comes across the line in P2. Kalios got within a second of Bluey at the end there. Comes across in P3 to wrap up the podium. Quantum Effect will come across the line in P4, and then we've got a few penalties here. Keeper's been able to get past Saxer, but I dare say he's probably going to lose some places there. As we see One of the Aston Martins there has binned it, and he's binned it before the finish line, and he's dropped all the way down to 10th place, so well done there. LSE, no, this isn't Aussie Internet at all. This is actually just Codemasters being really shit at their jobs. Our internet's all been fine. It's purely just the latest patch has completely ruined League Racing, so thank you very much to Codemasters for that. Vasa will come across the line in P14, no penalties from him. Unfortunate spin a little bit earlier in the race. Bandcamp, very, very unlucky, was taken out by Quantum Effect, who was desync to him. Wingman as well, unlucky race for him. Comes home in P16 and it's having a little bit of a spin at the exit of turn 9. And here he goes, comes across the line in P17 to wrap up what has been an interesting race here. Tier 2 is Aussie Formula Racing. It's been okay, Elisine, actually. It's gotten worse since last week's update. So hopefully they fix that very, very soon. But anyway, congratulations to Ferrari for their 1-2. Really well done for Apollo Pepsi. And Bluey, very strong showing. Filling in here for Bully. So great result there for Ferrari.
Great result for Ferrari indeed.
Well done for Kalios as well to get that podium. So we were saying in qualifying as well, it'd be nice for him to get a good result.
Oh, he does get it.
He did get it. I think Quantum Effect ended up 6 seconds behind. So that's right. That is right.
Yeah. That is very much true.
And this is the other problem. There's so much decent going on. I don't know what the actual order is.
Hard to commentate when there's that much desync, and the timing tower also playing games with you.
Absolutely.
Pepsi, a race winner, he extends that championship lead over Vandercat and Quantum Effect. Bluey, P2, rounds up a 1-2 for Ferrari. This might be our first 1-2 of the season, if I'm not mistaken. Kalios, P3, wraps up a podium with Quantum Effect. P4, Psycho, Keeper, Mika, P5, 6, 7 with Saxa, Comrade, and Vandercat. Finishing up the points, Nut, Nemo, King J, Vasa, Bandcamp, Wingman, and Skins all finished outside the points with Mr. Spicer and Decelerate, our 2 DNFers.
Wingman as well, picking up the fastest lap of the race. So he's denied that point from someone in the top 10. So well done to him as well. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to tonight's coverage. Unfortunately, it leaves a little bit of a sour note with the number of issues we had in that final session, but hopefully it'll get sorted. We're at Portimao next weekend, so the first time we'll be racing on the new track at Portugal in AFR for Formula 1. So do tune in for that as well. We should have some Formula 2s on next Friday night as well. We actually have a few spots opening up in a few of our tiers, so if you're interested in racing, jump on to the Discord and chuck a message through to Psycho to express your interest. We do have spots opening up in tier 1, 2 and 3. So drop us a line if you want to race. You have to be from Australia or New Zealand, and you must be on PC, but you can use either a pad or a wheel. Thank you very much, Seb, for joining me this evening in the commentary box. I've been Gus Rules. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Have a good night.